Town Hall and sending to the officially designated newspapers indicating that the meeting would take place at the community center at 6:30 p.m. on this date. The fire exits are located in the far right corner in the back and to my immediate left in the front. Per resolution 156-20, establishing rules of conduct in accordance with public meetings, please be advised of the following. All members of the public must step up to the public microphone and state for the record their name and address before addressing mayor and council. Roll call.
Councilman Haynes.
Here.
Councilman Hurley.
Here.
Councilman McDonald.
Here.
Councilman Slaghter.
Here.
Councilman Smith.
Here.
Council President Homestead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Correspondence, I have another water bill request to whom this may concern. Good morning. Unexpectedly, unfortunately, we have gotten a very high water bill, over $1,000. My husband checked for leaks, but it seems like everything should be okay. We purchased our home 7 years ago and always paid our bills on time. Unfortunately, due to recitation they have written here, but the insurance and our financial stability has changed. I am a realtor. We're going through a very tough market with no solid income on my part for now. My husband is taking care of all the bills at home. We are hoping that you could help us find a way to make payments and go back to being current every quarter. My family would highly appreciate your help. Thank you in advance. Viola Silva. So really, the total bill here is $1,034. The recommendation is the 8-month payment plan, which is approximately $130 per month. Good. Good. Nice. Council reports, Councilman Haynes.
Director Hopler is away on vacation. Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members, and our public. Thank you for coming. Short and sweet, we're gonna be discussing a lot of lights. Around the lake, all the lights are now completed and repaired except for one lemon light on Academy Street that we're waiting to get fixed. All of them are gonna be the same luminaire. They've been switched to LEDs. Regarding the street lights in town that we had put in on the sidewalks, most of those have been repaired. The one that by the nail place is no longer blinking. And regarding the Jersey Central Power and Light list that Joseph gave me, we are working on that. I met with the Dover team today. There is a plan in place, and thanks to Chief Pepperman for giving us a guy to help keep the safety and security of the crew as they repair the lights at night. And that's my report.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman Haynes.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Councilman Slaghter.
Evening, Mayor, Residents Council. No mic tonight, but I'm not enough. I don't need to. Let everybody know, yes, we have a Memorial Association meeting next week, the 3rd. Anybody's interested, discuss activities throughout the town to honor our veterans in Memorial Day. I did attend the environmental committee meeting. They were planning a cleanup this fall, but since so much heavy rain, they decided not to, which totally a safety issue. The river banks are just too high. So what they're gonna do next springtime, they're gonna focus on the river again, but they're also gonna be focusing on all the brooks in town. So we're talking about Cobblestone Brook, Fox Brooks, the Train Hill Brook, some of the small ponds in the woods. They wanna focus on those. So one thing I do need for the next meeting, Tim, is a flood map. So they wanna go to the woods, all the town brooks, and try to do some of these things. Trash. Which they never did this part before. They never went through all the brooks. So that's what I wanna look at. This is my report. I do have 2 questions. I'm gonna bring up that, because last meeting we had 2 code officials here. Explaining some issues in town. I had 4 phone calls about a part on Main Street. The residents are happy because the backyard was clean. So they're happy about that. The health department made an attempt to get that done. On top of that also, they witnessed more people going into the home. And there's a child about 16 months old live there, so they're a little concerned about that. So that's 4 residents I spoke to this week, I'm listening. It just, you can't go to ShopRite without getting away from people. Anybody wants to call?
So part of that, you know, we are taking next drastic steps,
Correct.
and it's part of a current investigation, so there are additional steps that are being
Issues.
taken.
Correct. But they're very happy with the yard being clean.
Yes.
Down there, it's much better to see a clean yard. It's not the greatest, but it's made a big improvement. On top of it, also, I'm hoping our zoning official will get back to the other location, the pictures we gave him. Remember around all those pictures? Because those issues still exist. It's been 2 weeks now. I do keep my eye on those areas, because they are kind of dreadful when people visit, Route 46 area. The other question I have is, it's getting late in the year, Christmas lights. I know you talk about lights with that street light. We're purchasing Christmas lights this year. Is there anything on that yet? You know, Kim?
I'm not sure.
I know, I did have a conversation with Rob about that, I guess he's in the process of placing the order, is anything for that meeting or anything?
What are we getting now? What are we purchasing? No banners, I hope, banners.
What's that?
Not banners, right? Lights itself?
Yeah, the stuff for the telephone poles.
All right, so lights, something lit and lights on.
Yeah.
So that'd be the lamps through town and also, some retail. So, all right, so Kim, could you check on that tomorrow, please? Just shoot me an email.
I'm not in tomorrow, but I can.
What are you asking? Councilman?
Whatever we're getting, I'm sorry. What are we purchasing? That's what I'm just curious.
All right,
Well,
so that's something, Rob O'Connor has, so Kim won't have that information.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She could email just what we're purchasing. I'm just
So
curious.
we'll get some kind of answer next week, right?
Fair enough. Thank you. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
That's it.
Tony, Councilman Stockbar, also I did forget to mention that the new planters are, they're around town. There's nothing in them yet, but they are here and we do have them. And they're big. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman Stockbar,
Motion.
second? All in favor? Councilman Smith?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. My report will be very short. Council President Burnside and I are still negotiating with the PDA, and that's moving forward, so hopefully we'll get to the summary resolve on that shortly. And other than that, work for the evening.
Okay, motion to accept the report of Councilman Smith,
Motion.
second?
Second.
All in favor? Councilman Rowley?
Thank you, Mayor, fellow council members, and our members of the public tonight. Very briefly, just for us to hear from the Finance Committee, reminder, just to connect with the department heads, as we have just moved into the fourth quarter, time is gonna start running short for capital purchase orders. So just do a touch base and a pulse beat on where they are with their 2023 capital spending plans and projects. Because usually, we're probably less than 60 days away from shutting down purchase orders and closing those out for the year. And the new budgeting cycle will start with your department heads, so if there's things that, projects they're looking at in '24, it's the time we'll be putting it together. So, it's October 1 on the weekend, so we've got probably about 40 days in there before we start to wind down the capital spending. So that's a quick one. And second, on Saturday, we have scheduled our annual fall yard cleanup and garage or yard sale. Right now, scheduled from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And we all know what the weather's looking like, so what we're gonna do is tomorrow at 3:30, make a final decision whether we will move ahead and hold it on Saturday, or we will postpone it to our rain date of the 7th. So stay tuned for that. In either event, maps will be available at the museum at 199 West Main Street, starting sharply at 8 o'clock, and we have it scheduled to go to 3. People can hang out longer if they think that they're like to extend their time, but we will not start until 8 o'clock, so we've got that going on. And officer, if you could just socialize that around with your fellow officers there, because Saturday, we usually get parking clusters all over the town, so we have 51 homes participating all over town, nicely spread out around town, so Hoping for the best on good weather, and that's my report, man.
It's supposed to be nice on Saturday.
Change it now.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman Hurley?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Councilman McDonald?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Just an update. I attended the Recreation Advisory Committee this past Tuesday, the 26th. Just a couple updates from their meeting. A reminder that the Spooktacular is scheduled for Saturday the 28th from 5:30 to 8. 5:30 to 6:30 is stroller friendly, and as last couple of years, there's no dogs permitted. So that's that. And then the next thing is the date has been set for the Christmas tree lighting on Wednesday, 12/6 at 6:30. So more information come out on those two. And the next thing is that our next meeting will be Tuesday, the 24th, and that will be finalizing the details for the spectacular. That's all I have, and we'll come up there, the rec director about the lighting, ask him that question about this new purchase.
You can ask him the question, and you can
Yes.
back to Councilman Slocum.
Yes, and then he also mentioned about the planters that were empty, so.
Actually, get back to all of us, just because I think we're all interested in,
Okay.
that's good.
That's all I have. If anybody has any questions for rec?
Did you say 6:30 on the 6th?
On the 6th, Wednesday at 6:30, yeah. And same thing, I'll have the Solomon truck there with the lights and, as usual.
Thank you.
That's it.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman McDonald?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Report will be brief. Just a reminder, we do have a working session scheduled for October 19th. We need to start working on the agenda, so any thoughts, please get back to Kim so we can start building the agenda for the working session. I think that's October 19th at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Motion to accept the report of the mayor?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Report clerk?
Really brief for me, just a reminder that the voter registration deadline for the general election is October 17th.
Motion to accept the report of the clerk?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda. 137-23, authorized property tax exemption due to a disabled veteran status, block 81, lot 55. 138-23, authorized property tax exemption and refunds of property taxes due to disabled veteran status, block 81, lot 55. 139-23, award contract, double wall brine tank. 140-23, authorized payment for materials furnished DPW garage. 141-23, refund zoning permit application, block 21, lot 13. 142-23, refund concept review escrow, block 84, lot 500. 143-23, support Franklin Avenue sidewalk project.
Motion to approve consent agenda items commencing with 137-23, all through and inclusive of 143-23.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald,
Yes.
Councilman Slocum,
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
We have one ordinance for introduction. Amend chapter 8263 fees, code of the Borough of Rockaway. Really purpose to amend various fees, including fire prevention, property maintenance, water utilities, service fees for copies of documents and land use administration and procedures.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes,
Yes.
Councilman Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman McDonald.
Yes.
Councilman Slocum,
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. A couple of ordinances for adoption. The first one, 23-17. Ordinance of the Borough of Rockaway, amending chapter 241 vehicles and traffic of the code of the Borough of Rockaway. This is to amend the rules and regulations regarding the municipal parking lots. You have a motion?
I'll offer.
Second?
Second.
I would like to open the meeting to the public for this ordinance only. For this ordinance only?
You got it, Mayor. Is this on?
No.
No, just,
Okay, here we go. Right?
We're good, George.
Okay. Regarding this ordinance, I've read the proposed ordinance for the 4 different municipal lots, and I just had a couple of questions. It just seems like there's a lot regarding this. My street, I live on Andrea Drive, there's a sign that says no parking school days, and it gives you the hours. So if someone parks there on school days, and the police come up, they can issue a ticket right then and there. But this ordinance, I was reading through it, deals with white lines on the parking lot, slash lines, yellow lines, cross marks, permits, all day, 4 hours max, fee paid, bumper stickers, overnight. Has the chief of police signed off on this?
Absolutely, yes.
And-
He's involved in the writing of this ordinance.
Really? Okay.
And basically, it's to eliminate the actual signs and have it color coded down, on some of those lots.
Okay, so there's no signage then?
If it helps you too, my understanding is that there's a lot of redundancies in the current ordinance. And essentially, a lot of this looks more substantial than it is. It's essentially, in a lot of regards, reordering a lot of the existing provisions and then tightening up and refining some new ones. So most of it I don't think is new. It's basically a reiteration of what's already there.
Okay. So then, let's say the enforcement is gonna be handled, we don't have a parking, so to speak,
Our police enforce the parking.
Okay. So, let's say the 4-hour ordinance, the police have to drive into the lot, mark someone who's not supposed to be there, let's say on their tire or something, I've read that that's the general way they do that, and then come back in 4 hours, and if they're still there, he can then issue a ticket. As opposed to, if we just had it where he could pull in, you're not supposed to be there in this time frame, and write the ticket, done. So it just seems to me, but I respect, whatever you guys feel like about that. So I just wanted to make that point. I do have another question, you can hold the clock on me, Mr. Mayor.
Is it just for this ordinance?
This is parking.
Is it part of this ordinance?
Is it just for this ordinance?
We're not talking about street parking, we're just talking about this ordinance for the parking lots.
Okay, I'll bring it up, later when I talk about article, for the, 74 West Main, Article A.
Great.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Thank you.
Any other comments regarding, for the public regarding this ordinance only? Hearing none, closing it to the public, roll call please.
Councilman Haynes?
Yes.
Councilman Hurley?
Yes.
Councilman McDonald?
Yes.
Councilman Slaughter?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Excuse me. No talking, please. Ordinance 23-17, ordinance the Borough of Rockaway, amending chapter 241 vehicles and, oops, I just did that one. 23-18, ordinance the Borough of Rockaway, amending chapter 241 vehicles and traffic, for the code, Borough of Rockaway, amend parking restrictions on Menino Drive. Okay, motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
I'd like to open the meeting to the public for this ordinance only.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and residents of Rockaway Borough. My name is Joe Sacco, I live at 15 Academy Street. The rules and regulations on Menino Drive. Why and who was the idea to take the parking signs from 12 to 3:30 that were put up by Department of Public Works by order of the police chief? Can anybody explain that to me?
The police chief.
Okay. And how many times have I seen double parking and like Councilman Smith has parked in front of a fire hydrant? I'm waiting for the day that something is gonna happen at 311 Main Street, and while they're at their mosque, cluttering up their cars at Tractor Supply. And that's why they park at Tractor Supply, because when it's double parked, why you tickets issued. These guys, our police department has to go in there to protect them and put them in the parking spots and have one at Tractor Supply and one on the corner of Menino 46. Can we have some situations why you guys wanna just rip everything up that the chief did? Or is the chief being here to explain it to us?
This ordinance was at the recommendation of the chief and lieutenant in the police department, Joseph.
I know that,
This
Mr.
one.
Smith, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll take pictures, and I'm gonna say, why didn't the chief here? I mean, it's a safety factor down there. Somebody can get hurt, somebody can get hit, and the parking, you're gonna have a major problem. And I think that the council should go down there on a Friday afternoon and see what it's all about.
I have.
You have, I have, everybody in God's creation. There's businesses right there. I was trying to get a representative from Tractor Supply so he could come to these meetings and he could complain about people parking in the parking lot or everything along there.
So Joe, just, it's been mentioned, so Chief Pepperman was here and Lieutenant Richardson was here for an hour and a half. They explained the whole issue, why they want to change time. So under the recommendation, we listened to them. We did the best thing we could for them, to make it safe.
I understand that, but you got a traffic jam right there where these guys are gonna just sit and babysit those guys.
Their chief had concerns for them, so it could be controlled better. So we'll look after it.
It better be resolved, or I'm gonna say one thing, I'll have Buddy available to truck down there.
Thank you, Joe.
And the DPW, Mr. Slackbauer, put those signs up. Start enforcing the law.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public regarding this ordinance only? Hearing none, close the meeting to the public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes?
Yes.
Councilman Hurley?
Yes.
Councilman McDonald?
Yes.
Councilman Slackbauer?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
23-19, ordinance for the Borough of Rockaway, amending Chapter 169, Land Use Administration and Procedures, Chapter 172, Zoning of the Code of the Borough of Rockaway. Purpose is to assign fees for temporary storage unit permits and renewals. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
I'd like to open the meeting to the public for this ordinance only. Hearing none, close the meeting to the public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes?
Yes.
Councilman Hurley?
Yes.
Councilman McDonald?
Yes.
Councilman Slackbauer?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
23-20, ordinance to Borough of Rockaway, municipal and water utility salaries. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
I'd like to open the meeting to the public for this ordinance only. Hearing none, close the meeting to the public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Haynes?
Yes.
Councilman Hurley?
Yes.
Councilman McDonald?
Yes.
Councilman Slackbauer?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to open the meeting to the public for any topic.
Oh, go ahead. I've already spoken. George Schuster, I still live at 215 Andrew Drive in Rockaway. I just want to thank the council and particularly Kimberly for providing me with the exhibit regarding the land use board's, actually to take care of the lawsuit that was brought before 74 West Main Street RPM, or whatever you want to call it, regarding the land use board voting it down. So I did have a couple of questions regarding that. Okay, so back to the parking thing. In that agreement, it's called for 1 space per unit and 5 additional spaces for guests. This is a 55-year-old building, not building, but that's affordable housing for 55-year-olds who qualify, I assume. And so there's gonna be 2 couples, and there's only gonna be 1 parking space per unit. Where are these additional cars gonna go? Reading the ordinances, they can't go to Donatoni Park, okay? They can't park overnight. where are all these cars gonna go? And has that been addressed?
So that's something that you'd have to address to the land use board?
Okay?
I thought we were at 1.7 spots per unit.
I think for the most best information is for them to do the land use.
Yeah, okay, but I thought that we were at 1.7 spots per unit.
Okay, and then I did read, through the exhibit A that I was able to obtain, and the fines were as followed. I hate to bring them up again, but it was $100,000 against our Affordable Housing Trust Fund, and $500,000 towards our towards the amended project. So that's $600,000 right there, plus the attorney fees and everything else. We're probably getting close to $1 million for this. And the council set this up because we need affordable housing, and then the land use board, against the recommendations of the council and of their own attorney at the council's, decided to vote it down. They took us to court, they wanted these judgments, we have to pay. So, how are these fees going to be paid? Can anybody answer that?
Taxpayers.
Through what avenue? Is there
Taxes.
taxes? Is there gonna be a bond issue or something like that?
No?
No, it's just gonna,
What it is.
okay. Has anybody on the land use board, I looked at the land use board members that were part of that. I don't think I need to bring up who they were, but most of them are still on that land use board. So my question is, have they ever come before this council and explained their reasoning?
They didn't have to.
They have?
They do not have to.
No, they operate.
It's a separate.
Separate and apart from our council.
Okay. Okay, and, how are these land use board members appointed?
I appoint them.
Okay? And what are their qualifications to be a land use board member?
Well, they, submit an application, they have some skills, they all take land use courses, they need to qualify for a land use course, to be part of the land use board.
Because it was against the recommendation of their own attorney that this was gonna go to litigation, and it just seems like it, so, is it possible to remove a land use board member prior to, let's say, when their term, expires due to this type of behavior? That costing the taxpayers of this town probably $1 million.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of police officers, that's a lot of police cars.
There would have to be cause related to the functioning, and then making a discretionary decision is not cause to consider removal.
I don't get that yet.
I'm not the one who wrote the law, I'm just telling you what it is. So meaning like there has to be some type of misconduct in office.
Okay.
And I think it's probably written like that for a reason, which is that, I think the law is intended to probably protect people in making those decisions, so they're not afraid of making, what they perceive to be the right decision, whether other people agree or not.
Yeah, whether it's land use, whether it's county council, you can't just, arbitrarily remove somebody.
Right.
Okay.
And you have to remember also that, good, bad, or indifferent, they are looking out for the betterment of the town. They are volunteers and they do work hard at what they do.
And most importantly, nowadays, they're not easy to find volunteers. More and more difficult to fill these positions, people don't want to do it. So a lot of times, I think that mayor and council are very grateful for any member of the community who volunteers.
So they come before the council and volunteer for this?
They get applications, I see them,
Okay. That would be enough about that for tonight, that's probably about 3 minutes. So thank you.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
As if a land use issue now.
Hello, my name is DJ. I'm from sweetbriar. A lot of you might know me because I, played sports with your children, or you lived down the road from me, or, you grew up and went to high school with my parents. There was actually work being done on Mount Pleasant, we all know this, throughout the last week, and, traffic causation on Sweetbriar was actually really bad, but that's not what I actually wanted to talk about. The water was turned off several times over the course of the actual construction. I don't know if there's any correlation to the actual work being done on.
They were replacing water mains on there.
I didn't know what the actual construction was, more or less because I didn't get notification of it. What I want to talk about is that I went on the website, found the newsletter. I could not find any sort of subscription for email. I went on TikTok, could not find any sort of informational account for the borough. On Instagram to see if there was any announcements, nor on Facebook. The last update was over a week ago. I have not found, and I'm currently online, so I'm online all the time, mostly for work, and I have not found any social media presence at all for any sort of notification for utility changes, construction, or even events for the town. And one thing I just want to bring up is, why is that? Is there a lack of volunteers, as I heard?
So the police department handles some of, the construction, road closure type stuff. Our recreation Facebook page would have any event type stuff that would be on there. Things like that.
But is there a consolidated base where someone would actually be able to find all the information in one directory instead of going to several different sites?
They're all linked, so I'm not on Facebook, believe it or not, but,
I don't know what side I have to look at what's on there about the project, but.
Oh, just in general, we have all links on the website.
yeah, everything's linked.
I understand that. I found some of the links. What I'm trying to say is, as someone who is under 30 and having a hard time trying to find and place where all of those specific links are, is kind of a social media problem for notification for community for anything. And ever since Twitter changed and I can't access the police Twitter account for any sort of information regarding arrests or traffic closures or anything else, it's kind of impeding on my convenience as a civilian, but also the convenience of other people that are in the community as well. Like I said, I'm under 30, and if I had a hard time trying to find it, then there definitely is some sort of notification issue. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
EJ, you have a major concern, I see what you're talking about. We do have a work session on the 19th. I think that's gonna be on our agenda.
Yeah.
Try to clarify some things for information.
Is it public or-
It is a public meeting, right? Thank you.
How are you guys doing today? How are you? Hi, my name is Usman Kawaja. I wrote this letter to you guys. I want to read it to you. I'm writing to you as a dedicated resident of Rockaway Borough, someone who has not only grown up in this community, but has invested a lot of significant part of my life into its growth and prosperity. My name is Usman Kawaja. I'm a proud owner of Sugar Leaves LLC, locally owned cannabis business with a deep roots in Rockaway Borough. I came before you today with a heartfelt plea and a genuine desire to contribute positively to this town that I hold dear. My journey at this point has been marked with immense dedication, hard work, and relentless pursuit of my dream. At the age of 28 with 2 kids to provide for, I embarked on a mission to establish a cannabis retail dispensary right here in our hometown. I want to emphasize that this endeavor has not been without its challenges. Over the past 2 years, I've invested over $500,000 to secure this necessary licenses, hard work, and I have finally gotten my Class 5 license from the state of New Jersey. I have faced countless obstacles and financial hardships, but I remain unwavering in commitment to bringing this venture to its fruition. I also wish to highlight that I have navigated this journey primarily on my own without relying on outside investors. I obtained all of these licenses myself, which I am immensely grateful for the resolution of support from Rockaway Borough. However, I'm faced with this critical step at this point, securing the town's approval, which is just as crucial as the state license itself. We are on the verge of completing our dispensary build-out with only few final requirements remaining, such as securing a vault, inventory, and additional cameras and some security personnel. I want to emphasize, I do not need $1 million to open up my business. I can have our doors open in less than 2 months with approval from town council. Emotionally and financially drained at this point with the challenge ahead of me, I stand at the precipice of realizing my dream and contributing to the betterment of Rockaway Borough. I have received tremendous supports and community support with thousands of people showing up their endorsement and hundreds of signatures on this petition that I present to you, with local residents right here in Rockaway Borough and other local businesses right here in our communities. These individuals from both Rockaway Borough and neighboring communities in New Jersey recognize the positive impact that sugar leaves can have on our town. We are committed to using our earnings to support initiatives will enhance our community from cleaning up and investing into educational programs and creating job opportunities for our local residents. As a proud minority owner, I have preserved in the face of adversity, and I ask for a fair and equal opportunity to serve our community just like the larger corporations. I firmly believe that by surrounding hardworking minority businesses owner like myself, Rockaway Borough can demonstrate its commitment to fairness, equality, and community development. I come before you today respectfully request for you to reconsider the decision and grant approval for Sugar Leaves LLC to open its dispensary right here in our hometown. The state has already approved us with a Class 5 retail annual license, and we are ready to bring our vision to life, if you say so. I would be deeply honored if you can join us for ribbon cutting ceremony at our opening, and we can finish what I started years ago. Your presence will not only symbolize your support for Endeavor, but also signify your commitment to the growth and prosperity of Rockaway Borough. Thank you for taking your time and considering my petition. I eagerly await your response. Thank you very much. God bless America.
Thanks, Susan. So basically, as we discussed right now, by ordinance, we only allow 2 cannabis licenses. And then, obviously, you were part of the application process during the first one. Obviously, the 2 licenses went to other companies. So basically, as of today, there's only, by ordinance, only 2 licenses. There's no others to be given out, for you to order. But it's something that, the ordinance committee can, go into discussion at a future meeting. Do we want to consider opening up a 3rd license, things like that. If we did that, then we'd have to open up applications across the board again, that type of thing, which obviously you'd be,
I would have to pay again, and we'll get the process started, but I appreciate that you
Yes.
considering that.
but
Thank you, guys.
But we'll bring it back to ordinance committee, we'll talk about the ordinance if there's a desire. Obviously, your shop sits on the Route 46 corridor, things like that, but it's really the ordinance committee that would need to at least undertake those initial discussions to see if we want to increase an additional license or 2. But then certainly once, they kind of formulate a thought, they can bring it back to mayor and council. So it's something, a decision is not gonna be today or tomorrow, but we will take into account, obviously, your request and, have that discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Christian Velasquez, 10 Fifth Street, Dover, New Jersey. I actually worked here in Borough the last 8 years. I worked for an MEP engineering company. I'm here today in support of Sugar Leaves. We would like you guys to consider to amend the ordinance to allow for additional dispensary. I actually have been in this process with Sugar Leaves since the beginning, when they first moved into that store. We do MEP plans, and my company helped them with his MEP plans back in 2020. We also did the plan for Kind Push, so I know that Sugar Leaves has been a contender in this since the way beginning. The whole purpose of legalizing cannabis is to focus on social equity, and New Jersey is really making a point to put that as a priority. So I would like to see local minority-owned businesses thriving here in Rockaway. I know you guys were one of the first ones in Morris County to allow cannabis businesses in Morris County, and I applaud you guys for that. I have a similar movement in Dover. I'm also a part of a cannabis nonprofit, Keep Across. We fight for cannabis patients' rights, disability access across New Jersey. So we go to a lot of these meetings and fight for cannabis patients' rights and cannabis rights, period. I just would really like you guys to focus on the social equity and let additional dispensaries open. I know you guys, there is something you guys can do about it. Sugar Leaves has been open as a CBD store for a couple years now. I go there and buy my CBD. And it would be great if I can go home from work, have sugar leaves, pick up what I need, my medicine, and then go home, you know? We also have an initiative in Dover. We clean up the streets. I call it burn up cleanup. You know, cannabis patients are allowed to smoke in public, and we provide a service in our town, and we clean up garbage. We actually clean up the Rockaway River, along the Rockaway River in Dover. And I would like to expand that down to Rockaway, you know, and in Dover, we work with the DPW, the mayor and the councils. They actually let us, they gave us pickers, gave us garbage bags, vests, and then the DPW collects all the garbage when we're done. It's actually been pretty successful. We've been doing it for 3 years. We are actually in the Daily Record feature for it. And it gets people out, you know, it gets people out and talking about cannabis and making cannabis more normalized, which is what we want to see. So I don't know if you guys have if you guys hold any community cleanups.
We do, the Environmental Commission.
Okay, I would be interested in partnering up, and I'm sure Sugar League would love to join that initiative to clean up the streets. I don't know if there's any specific problem areas around here. I know in Dover there's a lot of beer along the Rockaway River. A lot of people drink there.
Right, so that's something we do coordinate through the Environmental Commission, and certainly as part of Councilman Slockpower's work, because of the level of the river and the swift water, you know, we're not doing it this fall, just for safety type reasons, but that's something that, once something gets scheduled, we do look for business and community support in helping us, but that's something we can certainly reach out to. I'll just reach out to Elizabeth or something like that.
Okay, yeah, can we could coordinate it ourselves and make, you know, we can go out and clean, you know, I don't know when you guys schedule yours, but we could schedule our own. We just ask for help from the town to, you know, pick up the garbage and.
So that's, right, so it's something, right, we wanna make it a community thing, so, obviously, once something like that happens, you know, if there's something, then we can put you in touch with the Environmental Commission to coordinate, you know, with the community.
Okay.
You know, DPW is certainly involved with, helping pick up the trash and things like that, but it's something that, you know, once, you know, we do look to scheduling, absolutely, we'll reach out to you guys.
All right, great, yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
You guys can amend the ordinance to allow for an additional dispensary. That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Bonnie?
Bonnie Hook, 23 Jackson. I just wanted a little better explanation for the introduction of the ordinance for all the fees. It seems like every month or every meeting, there's more fees changing. What is changing here? It's a little bit hard to follow and compare. It looks like there's a lot of new fees here. And I was also wondering why the Township of Denville was listed off of this ordinance. The wrong version.
Page 23.
I mean,
23, yeah,
Wrong
page
version, maybe.
23, 22, 6.
A lot of it is restructuring, I can say that, there's not a lot of new fees. We're restructuring the fees schedule a little
Wasn't
bit.
that for the special police officers? That was what this was for.
No, that was the salary.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Can you explain to me then, I'm a little confused, whenever we ask for Oprah requests, it always used to be free, and we have no problem with it. Now, it seems to be charges for it. Now I see a charge that we have to pay, and I don't know if it's for Oprah or whatever, but we have to pay employees hourly rates, and all this is listed here that I never saw before. And I wanna know, as a Rockaway Borough resident, if I'm paying taxes to employ all these employees, that why would I have to pay an hourly rate for an employee to do something? The road closures that you changed the ordinance for the sewer, now we have to pay, the police, we have to pay everybody, and you're putting by the hour and everybody in there to open up a road that trucks go by if a water main breaks. What is going on here? I just see such a symptomatic change of everything going on for the residents, and nothing being afforded by the borough. and by the employees, which our taxes are being, you know, we're paying our taxes for. So I would like an explanation for that.
So we'll have the explanation when we adopt it, we'll have answers for you.
When it's adopted,
Or you had some,
I can answer at least some of it right now. So the fee for underwater, that $80 fee, it was something that was previously a $60 fee. It's just bringing it in line when all the water utility rates were changed. That's something that somehow got overlooked. It's not a new fee, it's just an adjustment. The special service charge is not something that applies to every over. That's something extreme. That's not something that is, you know, for every over request.
what do you consider extreme?
If it's going
There's a
to,
legal test for what defines the applicability of a special service charge. And it's taken quite a while to explain, but essentially, it's a request that essentially involves somebody who has to dedicate their time to specifically responding to the request, and it takes an inordinate amount of time. There's no very objective basis, it's subjective, which is probably the problem with that law in the first place. I guess that's the best I could explain without going very off topic.
Okay, my understanding is that the over request was there to protect the public, that they could get copies of information or whatever.
Correct.
One of the problems is that it was intended for the public and for the residents, and now businesses are using it for their purposes. Real estate companies, contractors, they'll come in and they'll do an open request for every building permit issued from 1975 to present.
the
It's an unreasonable
majority,
request. How do you, like,
the vast majority of our.
she would spend, she'd never get it done. You know, and so for the resident who's coming in for the simple open request for the meeting minutes, it's a non-issue. It's when they get into these things that take hours and hours and hours, where she's spending, you know, her whole week's time doing an open request for a commercial entity that's not what it was really intended for. That's why the state actually finally allowed that.
And the idea being it's excessive for the taxpayers to be paying an employee to be essentially doing something at the behest of a private individual or a business. That's the idea behind it.
Okay. All right, I have another question, what was it? Oh, how, you know, I was not happy about the business license and whatever, but I'd like to know, from the clerk, how is it gone, and has everybody paid, or what are the numbers? And, you know, what's going on with that?
I don't have the actual, numbers with me, I can get you that.
Okay,
It's an ongoing process, but I can,
because there was a deadline just recently, wasn't there?
there's been multiple, yes, there's multiple deadlines, because as things went out at different times, everyone was afforded the same amount of time, but I would have to pull that information.
Okay, and you'll email it to me, or?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
next one.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, how are you? My name is Jason Thomas. I'm part of the Sugar Lease team. I'm a compliance officer for Usman's team. Just wanted to give you some quick assurances. I'm a life science professional. I used to oversee Pfizer's regulatory operations and manufacturing operations. So I left that industry to really jump in and bring all the quality standards and all these compliance regulations that are missing into this industry. I've been working with the state. I got the testing labs, ISO 17025 accredited. So I'm very big on standards and making sure that people are doing the right thing. Just wanted to let you guys know, if you do expand the ordinances, you're gonna have a really good compliant, safe, secure operation in your county. So, thank you, and just want to leave.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Ivan. I'm dealing with Premium Heating and Cooling. It's a small company. I'm just here to support Sugar Leaf. He brought me to his company to make sure that he had the best air quality to the store. He makes sure that we get UV lights, air cleaners, HEPA filters, just to make sure that everything is good as place. I think he deserves a good opportunity, not to only help him, but a lot of people out there.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Your name again?
And the
Ivan?
company, the company.
Premium Heating and Cooling.
Any comments from the board?
Ken Sacco, 15 Academy Street, just gotta say, gotta keep Mr. Haynes for getting the list to the JC Clean Out crew, and I wanna thank you for doing that. with a little help from your favorite guy. Number two, any word on the downtown redevelopment program? Mr. Mayor, or anybody on the council?
I'll take that. Funny you should just mention that. I'm on my way. On my way here, I actually spoke with Rec Director O'Connor, and we are looking to schedule a meeting for either October or November. We are working with our partners to try and get something or someone in town to develop, but right now, I know the mayor's met with a few people, I have met with a few people. But right now, we, as far as going redevelopment, we haven't had much luck or success as of yet.
I'm just asking because I'd like to share an idea, if you're gonna do downtown redevelopment.
Sure.
Have something for the kids during the summer so they can do study and have a little area, a place of their own with the high school students and stuff.
We're very eager to have redevelopment. The last project that we did actually, that did come before us, we as a group did not feel was good enough for up to what we want to see going on.
Well,
So we're working with our planners to hopefully improve the
I
process.
remember when Mr. Ferriol had the arcade down on Route
Yes.
46, and I wanted to know if we could do something like that. And
Well, I mean, there is an open storefront right now on Main Street if somebody wants to do it.
well, I'll get back to you on that, but I need the help with the mayor, with all of you, including you, Mr. Bauer.
Thank you.
But as far as that, as Usman contends, you have to spend money to make money, so.
Correct.
Hey,
So investing in,
it's something for the kids. Go during the summer, have fun, play tokens, and any money that's generated from the sewing machine, we'll pay the taxes that way. But we want to give something back to the community for the kids. Or get fire department, have to come up and show the fire trucks and stuff like that. Mr. McDonald, for the spectacular on the 28th, I give this little idea about Parks Lake. Try ice and make steam and make it like a movie set. Okay, I talked to Mr. O'Connor, but I'd like to know if we could do that for the kids around Parks Lake.
Oh, you said you talked to Mr. O'Connor, that's the first thing that Mr. O'Connor.
It's going to Mr. McDonald because he's in charge of rap.
His first call is gonna make this to Rob, so.
Last
Yeah.
You got all the information that,
Hey, if I wanted to bring up The Walking Dead, I would do that whole lake, the sequence of The Walking Dead. And another thing, I'd like to know if we can get seasonal part-timers to help out and from like Denville had in their community where they get to cut the grass and to eliminate the Department of Public Works from doing it because it takes 5 gentlemen from DPW to do all the parks and all the stuff around the ball fields. This is the reason why Denville did it in their town.
So, Joe, we had in the budget to hire part-time seasonal, and instead of doing that, we reached out to the DPW and asked them if they wanted to do some overtime and make some extra money in the summer, that they could work extra hours, so that they could have an income and have some money. And instead of hiring the seasonals, the DPW guys said, yeah, we'd like to do that, and they actually worked after their normal shift. They stayed and worked later, so that they could make some money to have a better house and a better life, instead of giving somebody a part-time job where it wouldn't really benefit the guys who we want to keep here.
I understand that, Mr. Smith, but doesn't that take away from all the infrastructure they had to do with the storm?
If you listen to me, I said they did it after their normal shift.
Yeah, now we had that,
We've been doing it for
we had
years.
2 part-time positions in the budget for 2 to 3 years and we weren't able to fill them, so.
I applied for this job 5 times when I was in here, and 2 part-time jobs. Think about it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Joe. Any other comments from the public?
I just wanted to drop this off. This is the.
Okay. Thanks, Susan.
Thank you. Good luck.
Any other comments from the public? Hearing none, opening to the public. Motion to adjourn. Second.